the early warning signals of column wear that govern when a column is to be replaced or taken out of service is when you start to observe tailing peaks, peaks that have unusual peak shapes when they once were normal and peak shape, and sometimes, if the problem's severe enough, peaks will disappear. So when you have that issue, you need to go back to one of the chromatograms that were generated in your laboratory on that instrument with that same column. The first chromatogram generated in your laboratory is the birth certificate of that column in your laboratory. Each of us have our birth certificate that tells us who we are and so on and so forth and when we were born. So therefore, a column needs to have that too. And that test mix that was used and generated with the chromatogram, should be kept handy, and that process should be repeated as the column is placed and more and more into use. And if you have problems ensuing, then you need to go back and try to duplicate that test mix and before you diagnose the problem with your real samples. Okay? There are test mixtures commercially available, and they're there to act as diagnostic tools. There's hydrocarbon components in the mixture. There's alcohol components, and butanol is very popular. There's acidic and basic components. For example, a substituted aniline or a phenol, and they're there to indicate acid-base character and being imparted to the column. For example, if a column was used for routinely for amine analysis, that column will acquire an inherently basic texture over a period of time. So therefore, when you start to use that column for something else, like the chromatography of acidic components, volatile fatty acids or alcohols or something along those lines, you will have problems. And that will be indicated by the test mix probe. And these test mixes should be run periodically. Now, it's also my experience from teaching short courses for the last 20 years that people don't run test mixes on a column when it's placed in service. A secondary favorable approach is to use a test mixture of significance to that laboratory mission. So they're not going to use, at first attempt, the standard available test mixes. They're going to use a standard test mixture of importance to that laboratory, and that's fine, as long as they realize that needs to be chromatographed again in times of peril or trouble.